So thank you guys for coming to our talk. We are Tara and Amy. This is Tara.
Hi.
So we come from a long way. We're about 8,000 miles away from home. So we live in a small town in central New York in America. And we flew all the way to Penang to New York.
So we're both master's students studying human-computer interaction. This is our campus in the Oswego. You can see it's very nice. It's on Lake Ontario, which is beautiful. And it looks very nice.
However, most of the year we're covered in snow up to our heads. So that's my dad snowblowing after 3 feet fell that night. So it's a lot of snow. Very different from tonight. So Tara and I are part of a women empowerment club called Women in Computing. I'm the president and she was the secretary. So we go and travel all across Canada and the United States to visit women empowerment conferences and hackathons. This one we were in Montreal, and basically we just have a group of girls and travel and hope to help empower other women to do the same thing and get into some fields. So at one of the conferences that we went to, we had a speaker, and her name was Rashma Somjani. She was the first Indian American woman to run for Congress. So while she was traveling, trying to run for office, she noticed that there weren't a lot of women in STEM careers, and there also were young girls that were really interested in computer science, yet there was this gap, and she wanted to find out what happened between when they were really young and super excited about computer science to when they got into the workforce and why there weren't a lot of female computer scientists who were graduating.
So Amy and I both had similar upbringings in terms of the woman to man ratio in classes. For programming, I never actually was exposed to programming until I was doing my undergraduate degree in college and had to take one as a requirement.
So I'm from Oswego, and I was also never exposed to computer science before I applied for a degree in computer science when I was a college student. So I actually grew up in Oswego, and right now, from 2016 to 2017, the ratio is about even. It's 48% women, 51% men. So they didn't. Can you go to the next slide? So after I graduated, they finally made a computer science class, and from 2015 to today, there have been no girls in any computer science class. So after I heard Rashma Somjani speak, I was like, my community needs this. We need to provide access to young girls. And so we started to create a club through her called Girls Who Code. So through Girls Who Code, we teach the girls who are from ages 9 to 18, and we expose them to different women who are powerful in science and computer science, and try to provide representations so that they can understand that they can one day become someone powerful in the science field. So we teach them about Grace Hopper, which was she was a U.S. naval officer, and she was the first woman to create a compiler. We also talk about Ada Lovelace, who was not only the first female computer scientist, but the first computer scientist. And then we also talk about Katherine Johnson, who worked for NASA, and her work in mathematics helped to launch and land a rocket.
So beyond just giving these girls strong female role models to look up to in computer science, we try to develop impact projects that they can work on as they build a community with other girls. So we have them kind of brainstorm in the beginning and choose topics that they like, that they're interested in, that they think are important. And we teach them skills in management, whether it's agile development or just affinity diagramming, kind of tools to help them organize and plan a project as they're working with other girls. So just some examples, we had one girl who designed an app for bullying. She saw that that was an issue at her school and she wanted to change it, so she made a game that taught other girls how to deal with situations of bullying. Grace in the middle was into the Go robots. She was 11 years old and she actually learned Python, was able to control this robot to leave a room and come back. At the same time, some of the engineering students were struggling with them, so that was very funny to watch. And we had another girl who developed her own website to sell retail. So these are things that were important to them, that they thought they could impact their community with, and we worked with them to help them achieve these goals.
So why do we need to empower girls? So these are U.S. statistics, over in international statistics. But in the U.S., there are less women in computer science than men. So fewer than 1 in 5 women are computer science graduates. And the gap is getting worse. So in 1995, 37% of computer science graduates were women. And in 2017, that number went down to 24%. So if we do nothing to try to help encourage young girls to get into computer science and stick with it, the number will decrease in 2027 to 22%.
And one of the reasons our organization focuses on targeting these girls ages 13 to 17 is that's because interest in computer science does diminish, but that seems to be the most severe drop-off. So we're trying to bring these girls in, help stimulate their interest, find topics that they're motivated to carry out. And also, this is not just limited to the US. Where we're from, it definitely works. So this is data from the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Currently, only 14% of females actually enroll in science-related fields in higher education. There's also only 1 in 5 women are computer science graduates. 1 in 3 of these are engineers. And beyond that, only 43% of women who actually attain these degrees actually go on to work in their fields professionally. This is compared to 71% of men. So as a result, only 13% of inventors who filed the patents are women.
So what contributes to the gender gap? So I went on Google and I typed in famous scientists, and what I found what kind of confirmed my suspicions. So there's normally, at least in the United States, a lack of representation of women who are in the science field, and especially like in history books or on media and stuff like that. So when I Google, simple search, and out of 53 scientists, there were only 3 that were women. So that's a huge issue.
And a side note, Annie and I were teacher assistants for a class that taught Java. Out of about 60 students, only 2 of them were female computer science majors. So another thing that contributes to this gender gap is cultural and societal pressures. There are stereotypes and there are visions for what a woman should go into in the workforce, and you kind of have to take steps to break out of that.
So I love this quote. It says, "We are raising our girls to be perfect and our boys to be brave." So what that means is that study done on fifth graders, and normally at this age they're about the same in work ethic, and so they did a psychological study, and they presented boys and girls in fifth grade with tests that were more difficult than they were capable. So they found that in fifth grade, girls with the same IQ as the boys were giving up because they didn't want to fail. But yet the boys would try twice as hard because they thought of it as a challenge. So that actually is interesting because it applies to the workforce as well. So in the workforce, women tend to only apply for jobs that they are 100% qualified for. Yet men tend to apply for jobs that they are only 60% qualified for. And we found that the fear of failure and the lack of bravery is also in young girls in our club. They are so interested in computer science, but they are so afraid to fail, which is typical of what computer science is. It's failing and trying again. How can you know? So first and foremost, be an advocate for a diverse work environment. If you have an equal ratio of men and women, the work environments tend to be more diverse in thought and opinion, and that you tend to be more efficient as well.
Another thing is to change the narrative. We want young girls to get over this fear of failing. We want them to try, we want them to fail, and we want them to fix it. So it's just kind of, showing them that they can do it, that they can accomplish a goal that they're set out to, and creating a community among women in computing is a big part of it, and help bolster each other. So one of the ways that we've been doing this is we've been actually hosting some train-the-trainer clubs here. We've been collaborating with Anovo States, who actually have a booth here. But these are women in IT who are also motivated to kind of extend this to young girls and encourage them, get them interested in the field. So we've already done some workshops. July 15th, they're actually hosting their own, in which they're going to bring in young women. So if you're interested, we have information on that. You can contact us.
So in conclusion, without strong female role models like Rashma Sojani and women empowerment clubs that we've been involved with, it would not have been possible for us to get into computer science and encourage other girls to get into computer science.
Yeah, so it kind of comes full circle. Without the exposure that we have through our organizations and the opportunity to meet someone like Rajma, we wouldn't have even started the club on our own. So we're just trying to carry that on within our own community. So there's opportunities now in Vietnam through Novo and other spaces for people who are interested to help branch out.